Hi, classmates. My name is Tanisha Thompson, and this is my professional health education philosophy for HSC 6037 at the University of Florida Online, Fall 2009 term with Dr. Moses. So on this slide, one of my personal beliefs is just acknowledging that there are several aspects of health that includes more than just physical health. So we all know that physical health is, your heart, your blood pressure, cholesterol, aches and pains, um, things like that. Mental health is a condition related to a personal psychological or emotional well-being. Socioeconomic health can apply to where a person lives, where they work, or even if they make enough money to meet the basic needs of their family, where they go to school, where they worship. And spiritual health may apply to someone's beliefs in something greater than themselves, which may not necessarily be tied to religion. And I believe if one or more of these areas are affected or causing a shift where things are unbalanced for too long, that those effects may lead to chronic health conditions. So on this slide, I'm talking about some things that are important to me. On the left, it talks about health, strength, and family. My health is very important to me. I do make intentional health decisions or just intentional decisions affecting my health. I'm very careful about what I eat. I make sure that I incorporate physical activity into my life, and I make sure that, if I do have an illness, that I realize that I am not the subject matter expert, and I do listen to my healthcare team. I take my medications as prescribed. I try to make sure that I get enough rest, and I work hard and I play hard. Under strength, that could fall under mental or emotional health for me. It is important for me to continue the tradition of my family of, strong women. And, and so sometimes life happens to all of us. And, I just find a way to fight through and to continue pushing toward my goals. Sometimes I feel like, I'll get punched in the stomach every now and then and get knocked over. But for the most part, um, I will get up and I'll continue fighting. My family is very important to me. Um, I couldn't be who I am or even have an opportunity to achieve any of the things that I've achieved if it had not been for my family and my friends. My faith is very important to me. I don't really consider myself a religious person, even though I am a member of a local church. I don't consider myself a religious person. I do see that there is a fine line between actual religion and spirituality, and I lean more toward the side of spirituality when talking to myself because my relationship with God is my relationship with him, and it's going to happen whether I attend church or not. I attend church to be in the presence of like believers, but I'm not a big fan of the Institute of Religion, which tends to be a little more political, but I'll move on from that. Security is very important to me. It is important that I feel safe where I work, where I live, my neighborhood, my environment. When I don't feel secure, that little ugly head of anxiety will start creeping up, which leads me to my next point, peace. Um, I can find peace in the most chaotic places, and later on, I'll talk about some of those places that I have been. but I have always been able to um, not necessarily meditate because I suck at meditation, but I do try to find just this little window of time where I can shut the world out and just kind of balance myself and find peace in that moment. So, continuing with my personal beliefs, I have a list here and I'll go through each one. So, the first one is to always be respectful. You know, we live in a social and political climate now where, people are on different sides of an argument, and that's fine. Everyone has a right to their own opinion. And even if someone doesn't agree with you, I think it's very important to be respectful of that person. Be respectful of all people. So even someone that doesn't look like you or speak like you, or family or upbringing was different from yours. I just think that it's very important, just morally, to always be respectful to people. Be culturally sensitive. Um, there I've been a lot of places and been around a lot of people who felt that it was socially acceptable to make jokes about other people's cultures or beliefs, and I don't find that funny at all. I think that that's ignorant, and that's just my personal belief. I believe in God, but there are people who don't, and I don't force my views on them. So I just think that it's very important to be culturally sensitive. Instead of looking at something as different and judging it and creating stereotypes, how about immersing yourself a little bit into it? Read a book, ask questions about their culture, dine at a facility that offers, cultural meals. Be kind. I live my life treating everyone that I encounter as if they were the first person that I greeted all day. I greet everyone with a smile. And, there are a lot of people who will not reciprocate, but don't judge. You don't know what background that person is coming from. You don't know what situation that person is coming from. And you have no idea how something so small, like a hello, how are you doing, good eye contact, and a smile, might shift a person's mood. So always be kind, be trustworthy, do what you say you are going to do. Do not make empty promises. Be honest. In this field of health education, people are looking for you to be trustworthy and honest. And I've learned in this field, especially dealing with the local churches, that if they don't trust you, they will not welcome you into their environment, into their organization. Have integrity. That kind of goes along with being honest and just doing the right thing, even when no one is looking. Love everyone. Make no room in your heart for hate. Love everyone and understand that people have different experiences that may be different from yours, but it doesn't make them unlovable. And sometimes I realize it's difficult to love the unlovable, but do it anyway. Be a role model. No one's saying that you have to look like a cosmetologian model working in this field, and no one's saying that you need to be on the cover of what is that magazine with the guys? I forgot the name of the magazine with the guys. But still be a role model of health. Don't say as I do and not do as I say. People are going to catch on to that. Have compassion for others. This is the season for it. Usually, this time of year, we have the nicest people, and then as soon as New Year's come around, they go back to being grumpy grumps. Be compassionate and hold on to that. And also become a lifelong learner. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to continue to go to school for 20 years, but read. Read some books, some journal articles, stay on top of research in your field. Never stop learning. So, this is a historical perspective just to give you a little bit of background of why I feel the way that I do about health. So, under my family, I have my grandfather, grandmother, father, and mother. So, my grandfather passed away from lung cancer. My grandmother died of a heart attack. My father died of a heart attack, and my mother, who is still living, has just been recently diagnosed with high cholesterol. And of course, family is going to have a major part in why you are the way that you are. But as it relates to health, I feel like if they knew differently, if they understood their health conditions, I feel like my grandfather, grandmother, and father would still be alive today if they had had knowledge about their health condition and how to properly manage it. My naval career also helped shape me into who I am and why I wanted to enter into this field. My very first duty station was Naval Hospital, Oakland, California. I was a hospital corpsman. I went to Branch Medical Clinic at Naval Hospital, Oakland. It was basically like a year and a half of follow-on training. So it was right after school, and so it was basically 18 months of clinicals where I was working in different settings and gaining experience. And from there, NAS Oceana was my very first duty station, and there I was required to be an EMT and an EVOC, and the EVOC is emergency vehicle operator. So I was a driver and I was also in the back with patients. And that was a game changer because there are many times where, I would be on my way to a call and hope that it was just a sprained ankle. But nope, I've seen electrocutions. I've seen people, uh, the after effects of people getting struck by lightning. I've seen drowning victims, burn victims. It was a lot. And even when I went to the USS Enterprise, there were some deaths on there. The Enterprise is an aircraft carrier, and it's basically a floating city with about 5,000 people on board when you're going on deployment. So imagine 5,000 people under one roof. Um, so that definitely brought its challenges, and there have been times where I had to what we call bag bodies of young people, people collapsing on the treadmills, taking those ephedrines, medications with ephedrines to lose weight or to gain muscle. This was before those things were banned. And so I saw a lot of stuff there. And in Naval Hospital, Naples, Italy, this is where I really learned to become very culturally sensitive because it was my first time living outside of the United States. And our coroner was a male, and there were a lot of cultures out there. There were quite a few women who passed away, like giving childbirth, and they're not allowed to look at the men are not allowed to look at the women, naked. And so there were times where I had to fill in and do a lot of after death preparation for the family, and you know, and it was also there when I was exposed to the health promotions department. So my naval career definitely plays a huge part in why I feel the way that I do about health. So the health education promotion role, this is me. Hi guys. That's my professional photo at work. So I work at the Florida Department of Health in Escambia County. I'm a senior health educator there, and I'm also CHEST certified, and I'm also a diabetes prevention program lifestyle coach. And I can tell you that I did attend UF as an undergrad, and my internship prepared me greatly for the position. I actually did my internship here, and I was hired full as a full-time salary upon the completion of my internship. Definitely prepared me. If you haven't had an opportunity to do an internship, I strongly recommend it. So, in talking about the roles of a health education, health promotion person, I'm just going to kind of talk about a little bit about what we do, just touching lightly on a few things. So, up here, you see where there's a little circle, the little purple circle. That's where I live. I live in Santa Rosa County and I work in Escambia County. Escambia County is the very first county when you enter the state of Florida from Alabama. So this is what we do. We engage the community in key settings, and those key settings are everything that we learned in school. There's schools, there are early learning centers, um, universities, colleges, um, churches, groups, senior living facilities, independent living facilities. We provide technical assistance to those areas. We share health data and new research. We are very involved in the community um, through outreach programs or outreach participation. We provide free health education presentations and we develop tools and resources. I work in the nutrition department with two registered dietitians, and so another bonus is I get to help them to create healthy snacks and meals. We basically will pull um, a recipe off of the internet, and then they'll do their dietitian things to, make the recipe more healthy, and we'll test it first with each other, and then if we like it, we'll create actual recipe cards with the nutrition facts on there and offer samples to the public when we go to presentations or outreaches. We also monitor policy and environmental changes regarding health, and we market a culture of health. So this is the community we serve. Escambia County, the majority of Escambia County are low income, underserved, underinsured members of the community. Um, so we reach them, parents and caregivers, children, school teachers and administrators, employers and employees, early learning care centers, physicians' offices, church leaders, staff, members, and community leaders and partners. We have about 12 people in our department, and we have a great reach within the community. We've built a lot of partnerships and do our best to try to maintain those relationships. So it's a big part of our job. So here's just a few community goals. We want to decrease the percentage of youth that are overweight or obese, and we want to contribute to sustainable, healthy community changes. And those changes could be, um, not selling tobacco products to children under 18, or not marketing tobacco products. Actually, that's on the bottom, decreasing tobacco use. We also have a lot of community gardens, and we have a program where we work with food pantries and helping to create healthy recipes with some of those common ingredients that are found in the food pantries. We currently have a project going on looking for the food deserts and trying to decrease that. So we definitely do a lot. Decrease self-reported daily sedentary time, increase self-reported physical activity, and a lot of these self-reported goals will come from a survey of the parents and students. So, who are we in health education promotion? What are our roles? Well, a few roles that I believe we hold. We're educators. It is our job to get out there and to inform people and promote health. We're counselors, especially with the diabetes prevention program. It's a year-long program, and you get pretty close to the participants, and you'll find yourself going through life with them in those situations. And even in presentations where, I only have a 45-minute presentation, I'll spend 45 minutes giving a presentation, and people will come and talk to me after the class, and I'd be there for another hour. So you'll find yourself kind of in that counselor or coach role as well. We're teachers. We get out there and, we will stand up there and give a presentation, and we're also teaching new concepts. Sometimes we can be therapists. Um, we're definitely coaches and advocates and administrators. And this is just a few. This is not an all-inclusive list. It's just what I thought of at the top of my head, who I think who we are in our role. And finally, looking at all of the information that we've done in this course and the information that I shared with you, I came up with my own philosophy. We, as health educators, have a responsibility to share evidence-based health information with our clients. Health information is only powerful when it is shared in a way to help clients understand. Sharing information and knowledge, I believe, is the first step to empower individuals to make their own health decisions. So thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any comments, please feel free to add those onto the discussion board. Thank you.